Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to react from a guy who went to Europe and drove actually in Europe, specifically in Salzburg and Vienna, which is in Austria. This is from a channel called Savvy Wheels. You'll have the link in the description down below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel as well if you enjoy it. And let's jump right into it.
Surprise, surprise, guys. I'm not in Vancouver. I'm actually in the Alps, near the Salzburg city, and we're driving back to Vienna. We spent a really good time in Salzburg. It was so fun. I'll leave here some
Beautiful architecture. It's insane, and how well it was restored as well.
of the videos I made in Salzburg, but today we're going to talk about European roads. This is the car we're driving. This is the Suzuki Swift. This car has only 87 horsepower. It's still a great...
It's more than enough on European roads, especially that they are so tiny and a lot smaller than in North America. I was born in Romania and now I'm living in Canada, and it's a huge difference.
Great commuter, even on Austrian autobahns, which have 130 kilometers per hour speed limit. So this is my first time in Europe, and that's why I want...
Yeah, and here the speed limit on highways, most of the time probably it's around 90 kilometers an hour. But still people don't follow that rule, like they are going way above that speed limit anyways.
wanted to make a video about different experience while you're driving in North America compared to Europe, and especially compared to Austrian roads and autobahns. I hope this video is going to be fun. Let's actually jump into the car and discuss those differences. So it's kind of a North American reacting to European roads, good European roads from Austria. Let's go. Yes, this is a manual one. This car only comes in a manual.
Probably most of the from North America will have phobia because of this tiny car. It's so tiny than what they are used with. They have these big trucks, these big pickups, even the SUVs, they are so huge. Like, it's insane the cultural differences in regarding cars, and not only
form, or you can go for CVT, which is not fun. And by the way, I was kind of watching over other people's cars here in Europe just to double check if they actually drive manuals more, and to my surprise,
that's a really cool car. That old car, it's insane. Like, people are really taking care, and the thing is that even if the car is old, you can still find some aftermarket parts for it, probably for most of the parts. So here, like, I'm working in a car dealership, and I'm surprised that, like, for a 2008 or 2005 vehicle, you cannot find parts. If you're going to a dealership, you cannot order it anymore because it's discontinued or they are not making it anymore. And to find it aftermarket, oh my gosh, good luck with that. Probably like in a junkyard or something you can find something, but still you don't know the quality. In this case, in Europe, even though it's aftermarket, it's still brand new, like wasn't used. You know that it's good, you still have warranty and so on. So yeah, it's strange. Like, for me, I cannot get used with it.
all of the cars I've seen had a manual transmission in it, which is actually very, very cool. You don't see that much often.
You can have a lot more fun with a manual car than with an automatic one, in my opinion. Till coming to Canada, I had only manual cars. First one was a gas or petrol, and it was also like like this, like a very small car, and still I could have fun with it. And later on I've switched to a bigger one, like a sedan, and it was a diesel, and oh my gosh, the fuel consumption was so small, and also 6-speed manual. Like it was, I love that car. I wish I could find that brand here, but unfortunately they aren't. And anyway, probably you will find it still in automatic transmission, not manual.
In North America. So let's actually start talking about some of the differences that I saw right away. I have not driven in any other country rather than Austria, so take this with a grain of salt, but roads in Austria are super good. This car has a very short base, so you should not have a really good ride. Since these roads are so good, you don't even notice the imperfections, which is very cool, and you actually enjoy it. So this is our exit. This is actually a highway ramp.
Yeah, not even a pothole on that stretch of the road. And here, like even on the big highways with multiple lanes and so on, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Like I haven't seen any pothole on that stretch of the road over there in Austria. And here it's full everywhere, even on the big highways when you're driving very fast, like 100 kilometers an hour or even more. It's full of potholes, and it's strange because at that high rate of speed, if you're not taking care of your car because of some reason, you can get in serious troubles and you can have a big wreck and a big accident. So I don't know why it's happening over here, and they cannot maintain the roads properly.
So we might as well attack it. Let's see. You see, you don't need to have lots of horsepower to have fun.
If you're in a manual, you don't need that. That's for sure.
So since we are on the highway, let's actually talk about Austrian autobahns. Again, the road quality is insane, and by the way, really cool 911 here. And it's such an enjoyment to drive on these roads. So I've already made a one-way trip from Vienna to Salzburg this morning, and it was just a breeze, especially with these views. Sorry, it's a little bit dark at this moment, but you're just driving basically in Alps.
Beautiful view of the city and the mountains in the distance. It's insane. Like it's anybody's dream, I think, to live in that kind of scenery.
Surrounded by these beautiful mountains, you cannot not enjoy this. Sometimes I cannot believe the beauty of the nature in this part of the world. It just looks so surreal. Even for a person who is from Vancouver, it's in a whole different level in Austria. What I like about autobahns as well is that most drivers follow the basic highway rules that I try to teach and I try to promote on my channel, which is basically stay on the right if you're not passing anyone and only pass people from the left, and pretty much everyone in this part of the world.
Yeah, pretty much that's everywhere in Europe, not just in Austria. Most of the countries have the same rules, the same laws regarding how you're supposed to drive and how you are taught to drive in driving school.
Is doing this exact thing, which is so cool and so safer than what I see usually on North American roads. There's so many campers in the left lanes or in the middle lane, which makes driving very frustrating.
Yeah.
And torturous. Let me just quickly talk about this car. It's considered to be a very, very economical entry-level car from Suzuki, but this car has adaptive cruise control. This car has automatic high beams. This car has 9-inch screen with Apple CarPlay built into it, which is wireless, by the way. This is so many good amenities for, I think it's like 19,000 pound car. I feel like we are missing out as North Americans for this type of vehicle. I know it has 87 horsepower and 0 to 60 is around 12 seconds, but I actually haven't noticed this car being not adequate or not safe even driving on Austrian autobahns. You can see we're driving 120 kilometers per hour. I'm usually driving like close to 130. It's fine. This car only has 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine, so it's very, very fuel efficient.
Also, another thing, in most of the countries in Europe, if you own a vehicle, you're paying the taxes accordingly to the size of the engine, to your age, and how many accidents, especially for insurance, you've did in the previous year or not. The less amount of accidents, or like if you're not making accidents, then as the time goes by, the discount rates are increasing. While here, basically nothing matters. Like, it doesn't matter how big the engine is, you need just to pay for the car, to take care of it, to have insurance, and basically that's it. But the thing is that for everything you owe in Europe, you need to pay taxes. Here, even for cars, here you need to pay for the house, from what I've understood. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments below.
Due to its low weight and just overall great, efficiently built car. It has all physical controls that you want. Clear tachometer, clear speedometer, actually everything that you need. I feel like in North America we forgot about having cars like this so that we just get things that we actually need rather than having, 45,000 average new car price today, especially in these times with car tariffs, with the recession going on. This is what we actually need in Canada and US. So the next thing I noticed, especially in Austria, is that they are enforcing really harshly all of the rules, especially speed limits. So that's why I'm not going over the speed limit usually anywhere in the city or on the highway. On the Autobahn, it's 130 kilometers per hour, so I usually stay around 130. But as you can see, people are actually driving much faster than me sometimes. Maybe they know where speed cameras are situated, or they just live here, so they kind of know. We're not going to test our luck today. When I was growing up, people were telling me that Germans and Austrians are very, very strict with their rules and they like to follow them. So I was thinking, going into driving in Austria, that all people...
Yeah, I think that in most of the countries in Europe, especially in the West, they are very strict about certain rules. But I think when it's coming to the speed, like, they have like a margin of error about 5-10 kilometers an hour. So, like, even I back home, I was doing at least 10 kilometers above the speed limit that was posted on the poles.
Gonna show their turn signals, every single time. I thought that they're gonna leave enough space behind you, enough space in front of you all the time. But as it usually happens all the time, whenever I go to any country I visit, is that people are actually the same everywhere. So even in this country, there's no miracle. You will not see like a very huge difference in driving quality, honestly. So the next thing, a good thing, is driving in the city. Even though you would think that in a city like Vienna, you're gonna see lots of cars, it's not actually the case, because I feel like they did a great job with giving people an opportunity, a choice to either commute by cars or public transport. And most of the people are going to choose public transport. I have a couple of friends in Vienna and they don't have a car because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, in Europe it's not that much necessary to own a car or even to think or to stress about having a car. Basically you can reach with the public transportation in decent time, or maybe sometimes it depends on what kind of public transportation are you choosing. You might be even faster with the public transportation than by car because of the traffic. If for example you're going to the opposite side of the city and it's bumper to bumper in all the city, probably you will make like an hour or so. But if you're going with the subway or something and you're changing at some point with a bus or with a tram or whatever, then you will be a lot faster because you don't need to stay bumper to bumper stuck in traffic. So that's the reason. And most of the people, they don't need to commute to go to work. Basically the work, it's inside of the city where they are living. Like, while in North America, for example, you might have to commute or to make uh, a few kilometers till you will reach your workplace. It depends how you find the job.
So that leads to a situation where there's not actually lots of cars in the city. I will talk more about driving in the city once we get to Vienna. I just want to show you guys the Vienna at night. I think it's gonna be a great ending to the video, but let's talk more about the Austrian autobahns. It is such a great experience to pass people on the left and merge again to the right. There was not a single situation where I had to wait for a person to go away, to move over. It was always easy. If you want to have a road trip somewhere in Austria, I highly recommend driving here. It doesn't matter from which way you're gonna go into Salzburg, you're just gonna drive in the Alps. And I'm actually taking the Autobahn way, but you can also find some back roads or find some alternative highways, which probably gonna be more scenic, more twisty. What I liked as well, there's lots of good gas stations, and every single gas station we went to had a separate cafe. What I also found really interesting is that there's so few SUVs in Europe, which is so cool. They have actually...
Well, in Europe, because the streets are a lot smaller than in North America, you cannot have big SUVs because it will be very difficult to squeeze in, like, between the streets and between parked cars on the side of the street. So most of the people either are having either a sedan or a very small car or a station wagon, like, or brake as we are call it, or a small van or something like that, because it's a lot easier to squeeze in between. But most of the people which are driving in the city for the big part of the time, they are choosing a very small car, like a small hatchback, as that Suzuki Swift that he is driving.
have actually lots of cars like this one. Small city cars with enough power to get you going in the city, on the highway, with great amenities, even in entry-level cars like the Suzuki Swift. You know, in North America we talk about being friendly to the environment.
That's a Citroën C4. It's a French car, and they had some pretty cool designs along the time, and some pretty cool features, and very innovative as well, that you couldn't find in any car.
So we build these huge EV trucks, EV SUVs, which are actually much more harmful to the environment than, let's say, this Suzuki Swift. And yes, it's not NAV, but it's still very, very economical and very efficient. I feel like in Europe, there's such a cool selection of these kind of small cars, which are so...
In Europe, you have from what to choose. Like, you have big amount of makes and models that you can choose from in comparison with here. Here you have mostly the local stuff and a few European cars, like, I don't know, Volkswagen, Mercedes, Audi, and basically that's it that you can find from Europe. Other stuff like Citroen, Skoda, Dacia, which is a Romanian car brand, you cannot find them here. And if you want to import them, besides the fact that it will cost you a lot, it needs to be at least 15 years old because it will be considered historic vehicle, and then you can register here. Otherwise, if it's not made for this country, you cannot import it and drive it on the streets here, which is insane because in Europe you need to check the vehicle a lot more often than here, and if you have a problem with your car, like a major problem, they will reject you. You'll need to go and face that problem and then to come back to pass. And while if they've rejected you, you're not allowed to drive anymore the car on the public roads. You need to tow it. So it's a lot more tough over there than how it is here. Like here, okay, you're driving, something is happening with the car, just take it to the service and that's it. Like, give it to them, fix it, and that's it. While in Europe, it depends how old the vehicle it is. You can have as often as 1 year. If it is a personal car, if it is a taxi or whatever like that, each 6 months you need to go and to pass these tests and to see in what condition the car is.
So fun to drive, especially in manual form. Yeah, you see, it's not lots of power, but it's fun to wind down the engine.
Actually, you can hear that engine screaming so loud, it's insane.
And I'm not speeding. The limit is 130 kilometers per hour, so you can enjoy a car, enjoy the engine, and still be fine. Not go to prison. Alright guys, so we are back, and we are already in Vienna. Our trip is coming up to its end, so I decided to put an end to my video as well. But yeah, as you can see, it's 11:30 in the evening. The city still is active, lots of people walking, riding scooters. In Europe, it's much harder to drive in the city, especially when you drive a manual. The reason is that, lots of pedestrians at any time, lots of cyclists at any time. So you have to be basically alert 24/7. But still, the roads are pretty nice. Everything is...
Yeah, like as you can see, come with a pickup and try to find a parking spot on this street, or try to drive it, or to take a right or left corner. It will be enough difficult, and you will be very stressed to see all the things. And when you're driving in the city, especially in Europe, it keeps you very alert. And if you have a manual car, it's even worse because you need to pay attention to a lot more things than just about to drive and just to either to accelerate or to brake. You need to see if you need to change the gears, you need to see if a pedestrian comes, or if someone is trying to force a light or anything like that. So it's it keeps your blood flowing, to say so, driving in a city in Europe.
Greatly laid out. It's Austria, so what would you expect? So let's see what we can do with this junction. Right, no cars, no people. All right, cool. The
Yeah,
manual
like
really.
as you can see on each street on the side of the road, there are parking lots because like the cities being that old never thought that humanity will become to so many cars on the streets, on the roads. So they didn't had any other choices. Like the apartment buildings or the houses weren't designed from the beginning with a parking lot or multiple parking lots, and then they needed to figure out and they needed to change and to make some space also for the cars. It's a bit more difficult and challenging than here.
Fun, even in the city. But overall, I enjoyed this trip so much, regardless of my driving experience in here. Just traveling to Europe is so much fun. So I think it is an awesome experience to drive in Europe if you would like to have one. I highly recommend to rent a car in Europe, especially in a city like Vienna. It could be quite fun. This is where my trip ends. And as always, stay safe out there, keep enjoying the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, so this was the whole video. Yeah, so this was actually a pretty awesome video. He didn't had so many challenges. I will try to make some stuff like this, or just if you want to see something else or you want me to react to some other videos or some other types of videos, just leave me in the comments below a link or whatever like that, and I hope I will see you in the next one. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on the social media as well. Thank you. Bye.